It was back in January 5 when the World Health Organization issued its first disease outbreak news report. And ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started, we've been seeing a lot of this, and this. We've been distanced from everyone else, and some people might have been reunited with their family, and some people might have not. But there's one thing in common. Somehow, we long for physical touch, and we long for sure to hang out with our friends. People have been stressed, and when people heard of the pandemic, most of us thought it was
scary.
I mean, who imagined a world where social distancing is a thing, and in places like the Philippines, online and modular learning are the only means of learning in school? A community-based study in China was developed to measure perceived psychosocial health. But wait, what is psychosocial health? Psychosocial health encompasses the mental, emotional, social, and spiritual dimensions of what it means to be healthy. Now, there are a lot of factors that can affect your psychosocial health, but most of these examples include your social status, your social integration, your social support, your social disruption, and loneliness that even I couldn't avoid having during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, going back to the study. Respectively, it was said that 34.8, 32.5, and 44.8 of the respondents said to be feeling hopeless, more lonely, and depressed during the pandemic. For me, in weeks, I stopped functioning because I was alone and I was scared of the coronavirus pandemic. I was scared because I was too caught up thinking of people who had no shelter than starting to help them. I was scared because I felt disconnected from the world. And even though I smiled, I felt scared and lonely. And my major takeaway is that people should take care of their psychosocial health more than they ever did before. The social interactions, the conversations, the physical touch that we used to take for granted are the things that we should actually savor, appreciate, and value. If there's one thing that this pandemic has taught me as well, it's that the little things that make us happy build so much more than we give them credit for. And then, this is when I realized
Friends.
Friends.
Friends
are
are
important. Friends are important.
Friends are important.
They taught me that even though we are in the digital space, I could still laugh with them, share stories with them.
They taught me that there's still something to look forward to.
And they reminded me that I could love, even digitally.
if there's one lesson I've learned, it's what I'm fighting for right now. And it's that during the COVID-19 pandemic, the fight or the struggle wasn't only outdoors, but it was also indoors. More specifically, it was within ourselves. I learned that it's about time that people start putting premium and understanding what mental and psychosocial health is about. That illnesses don't tend to always be visible. And for example, when my friends told me that they were there for me, it lifted my spirits up. And even though they weren't there physically, I felt an emotional boost. And when loneliness would drown me in a sea within my four walls, I would understand that my friends were the life jacket that kept me afloat. They were the oxygen tanks that let me breathe underwater. But then, sooner or later, something sank in. I had privilege.
It's privilege when you don't fear for tomorrow.
It's privilege when your fear is tomorrow's progress.
It's privilege to be able to do something for tomorrow.
And when you let that sink in, that you have privilege and you can make a difference in the world, you're giving yourself an encouragement that nobody else could give other than yourself.
How about you? What have you learned this pandemic?